Hi everyone, and welcome to your lesson on the water cycle under the water cycle tab of the Water in the World Teaching and Learning website resource. Make sure you check out the link in the description of this video below to access this particular lesson. So this is our lesson on the water cycle. Let's begin with our success criteria for the lesson. You're to know and to be able to. So by the end of this lesson, you need to know the water cycle. And by the end of this lesson, you need to be able to explain each stage of the water cycle. So start by jotting these notes down in your books while we play the water cycle song as a class. It's a really good song. It'll help you remember it. It'll get stuck in your head for sure. So the amount of water on Earth is finite and has not changed. This means you drink the same water that dinosaurs once drank. The amount of water on Earth cannot be increased or decreased. It is a renewable resource because it cycles through our environment called the water cycle. It changes from gas to liquid and back again, and it can also change to a solid state through snow. So this is the water cycle here. This is what it looks like. So rays from the sun heat up the water in rivers and the ocean, and it evaporates. It also heats up the water that is contained in any vegetation or plant life, and that's called transpiration. So that's like evaporation, but through plants. So when water is evaporated, it turns into a gaseous form. When it gets up into the atmosphere, it starts to cool down, and that process is called condensation. And then as the water gets heavier, it turns into rain clouds and comes back down as precipitation or rain when it gets too heavy. That rain can then run off from the land into any sort of waterway, like a river or an ocean, or it can infiltrate through the soil. So the water can go down through the gaps in the soil and it can reach the groundwater, the water that is underneath the ground. And of course, once it gets back down into the ocean, which all water eventually does, it evaporates again. So that cycle is in a continuous motion. And it actually takes 10,000 years for the same droplet of water, or the same bit of water, to go through that whole cycle. So that's how long it takes. This is your first task, the water cycle worksheet. So access this site and fill in the missing words on the worksheet. If you're at school, this worksheet will be provided for you. But if you're not, you can download it and print it off like so. I'm just going to download it today, but you can print using that button there. I'm going to download it so I can show you how the worksheet works. So I'm just going to open it up like this and then enable editing. So task 1, use the water cycle diagram on the Water in the World website to fill in the missing stages, so the gaps. So you can do this digitally by going shapes and then text box, and then you can add a text box in the box that's already provided for you. So I'm going to do this one here first. I'm going to go back into the website, scroll up, we can see the first one here is condensation. What I'm going to do another text box. This one here, I go back into the website, is runoff. Make it a little bit bigger. Cool. Alrighty, this one here. So these are all the stages of the water cycle that you need to know. Make that one a little bit bigger. Going back on the website, that one is infiltration. Very nice. This one here, it's on a bit of an angle, so that might be very tricky for a text box. So this one here, I'm just going to tilt it and then move it up. Is groundwater. This is water that's underneath the ground. I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to go insert shapes text box. Using the website again, this one is evaporation. Make that one a bit shorter. This one here, using the website, is transpiration. So going back on the dock, go insert text box. Last one, transpiration. Where the water evaporates out of trees and all sorts of other plant life. It's heated up by the sun because we know the leaves of trees hold water, and the sun heats them up and they can evaporate or they transpirate, they transpire. It's called transpiration at that stage. So That's our completed stages of the water cycle. That's the first task. The next task here, research the definitions of each stage in the water cycle and write them down in the table below. So I'll start off with evaporation. I'll just show you how to do this. So I'm just going onto Google, type in evaporation definition. The process of turning from liquid into water vapor. So you would copy that definition down in the table here, and then you move on to condensation, precipitation, runoff, infiltration, and then groundwater as well. It's also an important part of the water cycle. So make sure you record those definitions, and then you can use this part of the worksheet to fold your worksheet and glue it in your book. So that's how you complete the worksheet task. Going down to task 2. So answer this question in your book, and you've got 5 minutes to answer it. So it'll be a pure paragraph. So explain how the water cycle works for 4 marks. In your answer, you must refer to each stage of the water cycle in the diagram above. So make sure you have completed this worksheet first so you know what to talk about for this paragraph, and you've got 5 minutes. So you can start that timer once you've started writing. Then after you've done that, a bit of fun here, we've got 2 water cycle games. So I'm going to open those up for you now and show you how to play them. This is the first water cycle game. So scroll down to play the natural water cycle game. Make sure your flash player is on as well. So help Whoosh, this is Whoosh here, our friend Whoosh, bounce warmth from the sun into the water to change it from liquid to gas. So you bounce the rays, and you can see the water is evaporating. You can see the water's heating up as well using the thermometer in the bottom corner. So I'm just using my arrow keys. At this stage, you can see it's starting to rain, which is good. Got some condensation and some evaporation. I'm not going to be able to get that one. Get that one, Whoosh. Yes, Whoosh. Great. Now we've made it rain, and this is called precipitation. So if it's cold enough, the water can even turn into snow if it lands on top of a mountain. So that's what we're going to do now. So now we're going to do runoff. So some of the rain turned to snow. Help Whoosh melt the snow to help the water cycle and get the water to go back into the ocean. So you bounce the ray of sun onto the snow. Now you need to jump over the runoff. Otherwise it'll knock Whoosh out because he's made of water as well. So he's just going to run off into the ocean. I'll show you. And then he runs off into the ocean. So you've got to jump over those bits of snow, so you've got to time it carefully. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. That's better. Get more time. Will Whoosh go? Oh no. Can't let him run off into the ocean, not Whoosh. Oh no! You can see I've got a timer in the top right hand corner. I've had a few kids, or a few students I should say, get under a minute for this whole game, which is very impressive. Time am I going to do it anyway? It's taking a while. Jeez. I love that sound every time he jumps too. There we go. Took 1 minute 44 seconds to return the water back to the ocean. I'll show you how to, I'd love to play again, but I'll show you how to play the second game. So this is how we treat water cycle and how we humans interact with the water cycle as well. So now we're going to help Whoosh treat the water. So there are a lot of people, pipes and pumps that take Melbourne because this is a Melbourne game. Melbourne's water cycle run. Help Whoosh turn the valve. So you use your arrow keys. You go to the one that's has like an alarm on the warning. You can see the pipes are getting full. And I'm just clicking on this turn button over here. So you can see that pipe getting full. You can see Whoosh's friend showering. It's a bit weird that we can see through someone's house and see them showering. Right. Can't let these pipes get too big, otherwise they're going to bust. So it's going from the catchment to the water tank into the shower, and then since Whoosh's friend here has used the water, polluted it by showering, it's going back to the treatment plant. So now we're in the sewage treatment plant. We need to first take the rubbish out of the sewage. You see there's a bunch of gross stuff in here. Someone's dropped their phone down the toilet. So you just click on this button here and use the arrows. Just got to get the right distance. It's a dummy. Someone's teeth. There's a robot. I'm not getting much now. It's a dummy. It's Dark Wish. Wish is a very hard worker. Right, bacteria from our bodies are already in the sewage. Pump air into the sewage by tapping the blue button so the bacteria can be treated. Okay, so now you need to tap this button pretty hard over here. You can see I'm not doing it quick enough. If you do it too quick sometimes it won't work as well. Here we go. Now we're going to start pumping air into the water. Not too much though. Can't believe how quick that thing. Alright, fantastic. Now the water is nearly clean. Help Wish tap the green button to add chlorine to kill any germs that are in the water. So we can see what's involved when we treat water so we can use it here. Alright, here we go. Kill that bacteria. Oh, that's too much. Cool. Now we can process that water. Awesome, it took 1 minute 36 seconds, beat my last score in the last game, to clean the water and send it back into the ocean. Alright, so those are your 2 water cycle games for task 3 after you finish task 2 and task 1, the worksheet. So thanks for watching guys, and remember, if you want to stay updated to any new websites that are made or any other new lessons that are made in existing websites like this one, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. Thank you.